Okay. Okay, cool. Hello, welcome to another Tough Souls video. This week Carl is terribly sick, so it's just going to be me today, and I'm just going to quickly give some recommendations on our 5 trails for beginners. So if you know our project, we are walking all of the national waymark trails in Ireland, which are a series of medium to long distance trails, and they're for hiking, and they kind of vary between small little roads, boreens, grassy paths, crossing mountainsides and wading through bogs. There's a bit of everything. They have a really mixed style of terrain and trail, and yeah, just a lot of fun stuff out there. So we thought we'd give 5 trails that would be suitable for beginner walkers looking to kind of explore some new areas. Okay, so the first trail we're going to recommend today is the easiest trail on the National Waymark Trails list. Really approachable for anybody. It is the Nora Valley Way. So the Nore is a river and it goes through Kilkenny, and this trail there's actually 2 parts, and each section is about 11 kilometres long. So the first section you can do from Kilkenny town itself out to Bennett's Bridge, and then there's another section that goes from Thomastown to Lough. So they're both on the River Nore. Riverside walks, really beautiful, twisting, winding trails. We did them during the summer. It was absolutely amazing. Lush green everywhere, really beautiful. So if you're just looking for a nice handy day walk to take some friends out, whatever you're looking for, yeah, super relaxed, gentle walk. Really recommend that one. And then continuing with the theme of river walks, number 2 would be the Barrow Way. So it's quite a bit longer, it's 120 kilometres in total, and it goes from Robertstown up in Kildare. It's kind of it's an offshoot of the Grand Canal. So from Robertstown down to St Mullins at the very bottom of Carlow. It's kind of the Carlow Wexford border. Really beautiful river walk again. It is one of kind of 3 major canals in Ireland, and it's definitely the nicest one by far. So each day is no more than 25 kilometres if you kind of break it up into set stages between each town. And so the stages themselves are really approachable. Nearly the whole towpath that you're walking is grass. This river was made, it's like a river that was kind of made navigable for canals. So it's a river that kind of at sections has locks and canal bridges. So just on one side it has this grassy towpath, brings you down through Athy, Carlow, Graignamanagh, St Mullins. Really beautiful, and there's more than one way to do this trail. So if you're not big into walking, you can cycle it if you have kind of mountain bikes or kind of off-road bikes, and there are a number of companies that offer canoeing or kayaking options. So if you want, you can rent a canoe from them for 3 or 4 days and canoe your way down, and either stay in B&Bs in each town, or you can camp on the towpath as well. The towpath is maintained by Waterways Ireland, who are very friendly to campers. So definitely recommend that one. So number 3 is going to be our first slightly more challenging trail. It is the Lough Derg Way. It is about 70 kilometres long, and it goes from Limerick City out to Drumineer in County Tipperary. So this trail it does a really good job of like varying the terrain. Like the area that it goes through isn't particularly mountainous or adventurous, or at least you wouldn't expect it to be, but the trail kind of mixes up the terrain and kind of brings you through some really beautiful places. Just a really good job. Day 1, coming out of Limerick City, you walk along some old tiny canals, kind of past the University of Limerick. It's really beautiful. Day 2 for us, we were up along the River Shannon, which is like a huge river, and kind of like along beside some huge dams on that. And then you go up and you're overlooking all of Lough Derg, which is beautiful. Yeah, it's a really varied, really nice trail. and it's doable in like 3 days, like 2.5 to 3 days, depending on what kind of kilometers you're hoping to do each day. So it'll be really good for like a long weekend adventure. Yeah, highly recommend that one. And then, so number 4, part of the reason that I chose number 4 is because it is so easily accessible. So if you are Dublin based, the Dublin Mountains Way is a great trail to try and get on. It's between 45 to 50 kilometres, and it goes from Shankill across to Tallaght, or the other way around, whichever way you prefer. And there are a number of spots along the way where you can get public transport back into the city. So for us, our day 1 was from Shankill to kind of like the Scalp, Kiltiernan area, and then we got a Dublin bus back into the city. And there's a couple of other spots where you can kind of grab a bus or thumb a lift back into the city. So the trail is really, really approachable if you don't want to overnight somewhere, if you are based in Dublin. And terrain-wise, again, it's really enjoyable, nothing too crazy strenuous, lots of paths and forestry, and you go across Tree Rock and Ticknock, and yeah, that's beautiful. You get some amazing views over the city as well, which is really, really cool. And then our final recommendation, it seems to jump onto all of our recommendation lists, is the Miners Way and Historical Trail in Roscommon. So this is going to be the longest one that we're recommending. It's between 120 and 160 kilometres. When we did it, we ended up closer to 160 because it's kind of a strange shape. It's like a figure of 8 with a couple of little arms. So when we were walking it, we did all of the little offshoots. So we kind of double back on ourselves once or twice slightly and this kind of stuff. So for us, it ended up being 160. But basically, there's 2 loops to it, and the bottom loop is the historical trail, and the top section is the Miners Way, roughly. So the bottom section we found very, very approachable, really, really nicely maintained and made paths and trails. It goes through a number of towns, like loads of towns, Boyle, Castle Baldwin. Well, when I say town, I kind of mean like town, village, crossroad, place that you could end a day and get either picked up or find accommodation in the area. So yeah, Drumshambo, Drumkeen, Keeju, Arigna, Dara, loads and loads of places. So each day is again a very approachable length that you can kind of like pick and choose what sections you want to do. It goes around kind of Lough Key and the Forest Park there, so it's incredibly beautiful, really, really nice, but no big mountains to climb or crazy steep bits. I remember there being 1 or 2 kind of more challenging days on the top section of the trail, but in general it was super duper approachable and really, really enjoyable. And also not a very busy trail. Roscommon isn't the first place that springs to mind when you think of the outdoors and tourism and adventure, so it was really nice to have such a beautiful trail kind of all to yourself almost. And yeah, those are our 5 trails that we'd probably recommend for beginners. If you have any recommendations, do let us know, leave a comment or whatever. Another thing to look up if you're looking to get into walking and just looking for kind of loops where you can park your car, do a loop and get back in again, you should look up the National Looped Walks, which is an initiative that came about recently. So all across the country, they're kind of waymarked with a purple arrow, and they overlap quite a number of the national waymark trails that kind of overlap the beautiful sections of our trails, and kind of do a little loop into some of those sections. So those are really great that I'd also look into if you're looking for short walks within your area. And yeah, thank you so much. Let me know what you think. We gave a talk last Friday night at the Mountain Views gathering, which was really, really great. Thank you so much for having us, chatting about our adventures. They were all such lovely people. It made what I thought was going to be a very scary experience really, really, really fantastic. So thank you for having us. And yeah, if you like our videos and our blogs and just like the outdoors in Ireland, make sure to give us a like, comment below with some ideas, share us with a friend, or you can also support the project on Patreon. We are patreon.com/toughsouls. And speaking of Patreon, I need to say a huge thank you to everybody who supports us there. Your support means the world to us. We couldn't do it without you. And this week I would love to thank John and Karen Gibson Peter Walker and Jen Carey for your continued support. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And yeah, until next week. That's it.